Hello. We are back for another episode of Manny Monday. It feels good to be back. In case you're not familiar with the format, I read off a list of topics that is posted on my Instagram, right? My Instagram is right here. This list of topics is just moments of epiphany, things I noticed throughout the week, and just things I just want to talk about, right? But without further ado, let's get into the Manny Monday. The first order of business is heroes die an uncomfortable death. Now, this is something that I wrote down a couple weeks ago, and I forget the original context of it, but there's something that stands out to me with this code, or like what comes to mind, because I wrote it down, so I'm like, it means something. Heroes die an uncomfortable death is like doing the right thing. It comes at a cost, and I don't think people talk about that a lot, right? If I were to call upon a character in fiction or just try to make an analogy, I would talk about Jim Gordon from like Batman, right? So Jim Gordon, he works as Gotham PD or GCPD, and he tries to do the right thing. He always does the right thing. But it's at the expense of camaraderie, right? Because he works with other police officers that are corrupt, that give into the gangs, that get money on the side. What is it called when a law enforcement official gets money for doing something, or maybe not even doing nothing but looking the other way? Bribes, yes! They get bribes and shit. But Jim Gordon, he doesn't want to be a part of that. He wants to hold people to the standard. And it caused a divide, right, between him and his peers, right? But it wasn't until my knowledge, depending on what iteration you're listening, it wasn't until Batman came along that he had someone. And it's crazy as enough, the unlikely ally was a vigilante at the time. Can you believe that? He's a stickler for the rules, but the person that's like most in line with what he wants to do and the missions and the goals as far as like keeping people safe and not taking bribes and shit like that happens to be a vigilante. So you bend the knee on that, right? So with this example of Jim Gordon and then also Batman in general, is just like two things. One is, of course, doing the right thing isn't always easy, and you're doing it in spite of circumstances, and maybe people may not even get along with you. People may not even see the vision. It's much likened to faith. It's like you have faith for the things that are not seen. And I think the most important thing is that you still stay encouraged, but you also look for the people that are around you that do support you during those times when you are making the difficult decisions, right? Because I think like that's something that I want to say we, but it's usually me, that there is people in my life that I take for granted. The people that do check up on me, the people that do hold me accountable, the people that do see what I'm doing, and they commend me on that, right? And I had to realize that recently when I wanted like non-judgmental advice, just someone to just listen, right? And I think that's like so hard, because I be going through my own shit, right? And I have to hold myself over until I'm able to see my counselor the very next week or whatever. And so being able to have space with someone, unlikely hero, unlikely ally, I really appreciate that, right? So start appreciating those that are very close to you, and then also know that sometimes doing the right thing, you may feel alone, you may be alone, right? But again, look more deeply into your surroundings, who's nearby you, and who's really there to support you, because I'm pretty sure you have someone, right? May not be the person you want, but you do have a support system, right? If you don't, comment down below and tell me I'm wrong. All right, second thing is prepare for your arrival. Now, everyone always talks about working on their self, essentially, right? When you're preparing for a relationship or you're preparing for having a partner. But what does that even mean, right? Working on myself, because like I view like my life as far as like what I'm doing now, I'm always doing some form of self-investment, right? I went back to school recently because I was given the opportunity with Lola. I'm studying Spanish. I still really take care of my body, right? But I also think about just things that I started to do as far as planning, right? So planning for her arrival essentially is me, in retrospect, imagining the future woman that I have, my future wife, but then also things that I would need essentially, right? And things that I want to show her, right? I haven't really vocalized this in this format, but I'm keeping a folder of all the reels that I want to show her, writing her stories and stuff about like the time period in which I am, right? Even when as far as having a savings account, because separate savings accounts for it. It's like, hey, you eventually go on dates. Those dates cost money. Why not have a separate account for it? So it's like getting ahead of it, planning for her arrival. And I don't know where and what avenues that she comes, but I do know it is inevitable. But I think it's like just taking that consideration, taking that time. Like, yes, we work on ourselves, but there's just other things that we can do to prepare for our partner's arrival whenever that may come, right? And also, it doesn't have to be such an isolating thing, because whenever someone goes through a breakup or whenever someone's single or whatever, people talk about working on themselves, and it often involves that person being alone. It's not implicitly said, but people be like, you don't need to be with nobody right now. Just work on yourself. Like, what the fuck does that really mean? So really do the things that you love, but then also be thoughtful, right? So you can be thoughtful with yourself, but then also be thoughtful with others and other activities, and just holding space. And I've recently been doing that, right? Third thing, you're pretty, but you have tattoos. I've only seen men make this fucking comment, and it's just so weird. It's so weird. Like, you see a beautiful woman, right? Beautiful woman. And then someone be comments is like, you're beautiful, but you have tattoos. Who puts a sticker on a Mercedes or a BMW or just like some offhand condom, something that's very condescending and stuff like that. And it just fucking irks me, right? So like, yes, with my point, I'm specifically talking about tattoos, but I think it goes against the larger idea of like, I don't understand, like someone just goes out their way to say something to someone when they just see them existing. Like, let me give you an example. Frankenstein here. Frankenstein is over here. He's a little chubby, but Frankenstein is over here, you know? I go out my way to antagonize Frankenstein. Why? For what reason? For what reason? For what reason, right? I understand that people have like their prejudices and shit, but if you don't really have anything positive to say, keep that shit to yourself. And then I really appreciate, I'm just sarcasm. I really appreciate when someone says something very condescending and then I match their energy and they're like, oh my gosh, really? But you gotta understand, like when you make comments about someone's appearance that are very rude, especially if you're talking to someone that has tattoos and you're like, oh yeah, like it looks very nice, but I wish you would have did this, or like, you know, it's gonna look terrible when you get old. Nigga, we all get old. We all get old. I'd rather be colorful, have something to look at, stories to tell, because I may not be able to write and things that when I'm at those age, but like every tattoo for me does have a story, and be able to tell the person about that time and what took place at it, right? Whether I'm talking about this one on my bicep, where I'm talking about these other ones, like tattoos for me, they do develop meaning with time, right? My whole process of getting tattoos is very different. I mean, granted, there'll probably be a tattoo tour video, but for briefly recap on that, I do black and white theme, and I do get tattoos around milestone, and really just something that looks cool. So the tattoo may not have a meaning right then and there, right? But this thing is about tattoos. Okay, so we have some technical difficulties. My alarm went off mid-sentence, but yeah, what was I saying? Yeah, so the main thing, this point, was about tattoos, but I think it also can be applied to everything. People going out their way to just say some fuck shit, right? If you have a personal preference, I just tend to keep that to myself. Even when people ask me like my preferences on like women and shit, I just keep it to myself, you know? You do you, but keep that to yourself. Please don't be under my shit saying that, you know. I may have time, especially if it's a Friday. Me and you just going back and forth with it, okay? Me and you just going back and forth with it. But that's neither here nor there. That's neither here nor there. I'm trying to take the high ground, whatever. The fourth thing on the list is I want to read. I want to read so fucking bad. Oh my gosh. I literally had no time to read this week. Zilch, right? I've been so consumed with work and the classes that I'm taking, this drug course, that I even had time to do any of the leisure reading that I wanted to, that I didn't have any time to do my Spanish homework. Spanish teacher, if you're watching this, I totally did the homework. But I haven't had time to just do the things that I want. And I know I could probably find time to read when I get home, but I just be so exhausted, you know? And then I'm still have to read for class. Like for Wednesday, I have to read 2 chapters in this book. And these college textbook chapters are so fucking long. So I told myself, if I can pace myself, if I just do like 20 pages a day or something like that, by the time class comes around, it'll be cutting it close, but at least I would have read the material and I can still have some time to do some leisure reading. So definitely as I head into, I'm recording this on a Friday, spoiler alert, but as I head into the weekend, I'm able to just hold space to just read. So I actually look forward to getting up in the morning at a similar time. I look forward to getting up at 6 a.m. and just reading what I want to read, you know, because I have some guitar books, I have some Spanish books, I have some books that I have some books clubs because I want to get into that and just be able to hold space and do the things that I love. Because like, yes, we do work and I don't want to get into that routine of just going to work, coming home, watching TV, repeat, wash my ass in between there, also go to the gym, you know. It's like gym, work, home, gym, work, home, gym, work, home, cook, gym, work, home, gym, work, home. I'm fucking tired of that. I want to read. I want to do different things. I'm so tired. So I look forward to this weekend, and I'm trying my best not to stress out about work because depending on the job that you have, we have to understand that work is work and leave work at work. I want to take work home with me so bad. I don't mean like the issues and the shit that happen and take place at work, but I mean like the actual work that's being done, right? Because I'm nowhere near done with the tasks that I'm being asked, but I also got to realize that it's okay. I get paid to work when I'm at work. Why would I do it at home? Like you know, you don't, like, as long as the work is done, at least with the work that I do, it makes no sense to just bend over backwards. Like that shit's gonna be there Monday. It's gonna be there Monday, right? Even if you did everything that you're supposed to do at your job on a single day, there will be more shit to do. Because if there wasn't more shit to do, they're sending your ass home. Like, in my limited experience of working at a kitchen, I used to work at I'm on name drop, I don't give a fuck. I used to work at Sweet Green, right? It was a startup. It used to be on like First and State, and I worked there, but I knew when it got, so we worked during rush hour, but when rush hour in, man, your ass better be going on break or lunchroom because you're going home. I've never experienced that before I worked in the fast food industry, but if you are around after rush hour, after break, you know, your ass better disappear or they sending you home, right? So with that same rationale, I'm understanding like, hey, I have a job where there's constantly work to be done, there's constantly productivity. Why am I stressing myself on it, right? So as I go in today, I know I really don't have time to do what I'm supposed to do because I have like a meeting and everything. But yeah, the work's gonna be there. It's gonna be there fucking next week. But I do have to account to some people, but I'm also giving myself some grace, right? Yeah, that is all I have for today. I want to thank you guys all for subscribing. The views have went down as the videos, but the subscribers have went up. Even on my TikTok, the followings have went up. So I want to commend you guys on that. It's cause granted the views and shit, they do matter in the grand scheme of things, but I'm realizing that with the material that I'm putting back, I have a lot more staying power. Staying power in the sense that people that watch the content now are the ones that are sticking around versus like ones that are just like coming and dropping in, right? I mean, if you come and drop in, that's fine. We welcome you. Subscribe, like, comment, share, all that other shit, right? But I realize that now I'm getting to the point of like the content has staying power, right? And that I'm building a sense of audience, and I love that and I appreciate that, right? I've talked a lot for this video.
I don't want to go over limit, but I do want to give updates on filmmaking in Spanish next Many Monday. Again, I will account next Many Monday. We will talk about filmmaking in Spanish. I'll give you guys an update on that because I do want you to hold me accountable on that. But if you want a personal update, you can't wait till Monday. Just comment down below and I'll comment an update, right? Without further ado, that's it. This is my Many Monday. And you take care. Jaritos are on me.